Now we're going to go and switch this out to our 35535 top jaws, which are set up to hold round and odd shaped parts. So we're going to take this stuff, we're going to take these jaws off, the top jaws, and we're going to swap them out, and I'll show you how our 35535 is used to hold different shapes and sizes of material. So for starts, we're going to leave the fixed jaw where it is, and all we're going to do is remove the top jaw. All right, we're going to use the same screws. And we're just going to set the top jaw over here. And we're going to do the same thing with our movable jaw. So the base piece is the same, we're just swapping out the top jaws. Okay. All right, as you can see, I still have grease on the two base plates, the fixed base plate and the movable base plate. So this is our 35535 top jaw, okay? And it has multiple 3/4 inch holes in it. And with this one, we use our 35529 insert. And this is a Versagrip insert from Mighty Bite. And it will fit in any of these 3/4 inch pockets. And once it's in there, you can turn it around so your clamping surface matches your part. So depending on what part we're holding, that will dictate which pockets we use. So the first thing we're going to do is just mount this onto the fixed jaw and mount one onto the movable jaw. So to mount it on the fixed jaw, it's nice and clean. We put it down, we get it located against the step on the back, and we get our 82-degree screws started. And again, on the fixed jaw, the clamping screw will pull it down and against the lip on the back of the fixed jaw base plate. So I go snug on both of them first, then I tighten them down. And they just have to be snug. That's good right there. That's good right there. Okay, the difference on this, one of the differences on this top jaw and this one is when this one screws all the way down, the screw head sticks up above the top surface a little bit. And that's because everything you clamp is going to be on this side right here. It's not going to be back here. On the 35535 jaw, if you clamp these all the way down, this surface of the top of the screw is actually below the top surface. So if for some reason you have an odd shaped part and you've got an insert here and somehow the part goes out over this surface, you can actually change your movable, and the fixed jaw is already below it, so it'll locate just on the top surface here. And on the movable jaw, you can adjust your clamping so that when it's down below the top surface, it's in a clamping mode. So you can see it's about 20 thousandths or so below the top surface. This is the surface that your parts are going to locate on. So that's the fixed jaw. And now we'll mount this top jaw on the movable jaw side. So again, your line of 3/4 inch holes go on the same side as your 1032s are, so that when you tighten down your 82s, you're pretty squared up on it, just so to make sure you don't have it backwards. And again, these guys still have grease on them from the previous jaw. If it doesn't look like they have much on there, you can wipe on a thin coat again. This jaw, when it's locked all the way down, again, we'll just go snug. Okay, it actually lines up with the back. There is a slight overhang on the front. So that's your movable jaw. There also is a slight overhang on the front of the fixed jaw. All right. Now, where you position your inserts and your movable jaw all depends on the shape of your part. So we have some round stock right here. And round stock is basically best to clamp in 3 places, not 4, okay? So what we'll probably end up doing with this one is have 2 on the outer side and 1 in the middle on this side here. So we'll adjust our fixed jaw, or sorry, we'll adjust our movable jaw. So again, these 2 guys are just snug to hold it in place, okay? And I'm going to put 1 insert here, 1 insert here, move my jaw up. And I'm going to use the far back screw or the far back pocket for a 3rd one right here. Okay. So what we want to do right now with these inserts is thread them in until they bottom out and back them out about a 1/4 turn. So you can still turn this. Okay, so we'll do that with all 3. And these are also low profile. You're holding on to about 70, it's about a 70,000 step from the top of the clamping insert to the top of the top jaw. So then I'm going to put my part in here, and these are free to adjust to the surface on my part. What I just realized with my choice of insert positions is if I put it here, I don't have access to my T-slots with this setup here. So we're going to change this up, and I'm going to go 1 on this side and 2 on this side. So we'll take these guys out of here and just switch them around, because I need to have access to the T-slot, the T-nut screws. So we'll just move this guy over here. Again, these screws are below the surface, so they won't interfere with the bottom of the part. Okay, so again, we're going to put the screw all the way down till it touches and back it off a 1/4 turn. Right there, back it off a 1/4 turn. Then I'm going to put these guys in these 2 pockets. Back it off a 1/4 turn. Back it off a 1/4 turn. Okay, I'm also going to tighten up my T-nuts a little bit so this guy's not moving around so easy. So that's there. Back that off a hair. Okay, down and back it off a hair. So this guy will still move. Okay, I'm going to adjust these by hand a little bit to get them pre-adjusted. The one on my back side, going to be fine. Then I move my movable jaw in. So that's the position I'm going to have. So now we're going to do the same thing with the movable jaw that we did with the other top jaws. Right now my screws are clamped all the way down. And what I want to do is I want to back them out 1 full turn. Right there is clamped or making contact. I'm going to go one full turn, one full turn. Okay, now I'm going to hold my top jaw in on the part, and I'm going to push my base jaw, my bottom plate rather, my movable bottom plate in as far as it'll go. All right, and if I want to, yeah, so that's good. So now holding it in place, now I'm going to tighten down my T-nuts. That guy's good and tight. Okay, and about a quarter turn. Okay, so now if I back these out a little bit more, it gives me room to pull the jaw back so I can pull my part out. Okay, when I put it back in place, I push my jaws into it. It's locating on this one. Now, very important, I haven't clamped down anything yet, so this is the location I want my inserts to be at. So I want to tighten my inserts down in that position right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring these screws, the clamp screws, down just until they're snug. And actually, I want to bring them both down. Okay, I'm going to locate my part. And these guys at snug should both be the same height. So I'm up just at the top, just at the top. So right now, it's just barely making contact with the countersink. Now, I want to tighten my inserts in place. If you forget to tighten your inserts in place before you clamp your part, there's about 4 to 5 thousandths clearance between the pocket that your insert's in and the actual diameter of the insert. And that's just enough, so if you clamp it down with these loose, it will kick your insert off just a hair, which will be enough to jam your insert in the pocket. So you always want to make sure that you clamp your insert in place first, and that also locks them in the alignment that they're in right now. Okay, then you can come in and clamp your 82 degree clamping screw. So that's a quarter, that's a little bit better than a quarter turn right there. And it also depends on how soft the material is and how much the inserts dig in. But a quarter turn, a little bit more, and you should be good. This guy is not going anywhere, all right? So this is 3 1/4 inch stock, okay? And that guy's set up to go. Again, if I just release it, and then what I would generally do is actually, this guy's locked. I would actually go the same amount of turns on both of these, so to loosen it up. So I got, that's half, 1 1/2, and this guy, half, 1 1/2. Now my jaw pulls back, my part comes out. Okay, so that's 3 1/2. If I have something larger, this is actually a blank for a rotary table. If I'm going to switch to another job, then all I do is loosen up my movable jaw. I move this out. I figure out where I want to hold this, okay? So on this one, maybe we decide that these two are too close and to center it up better. I'd be better off if these guys were out further. So we'll see what that looks like. Quarter turn to back out. Okay, we want to lock these guys, we want to get these guys down to snug again on both of them so that we have a neutral relationship between our screw and the slot that allows us to clamp. Okay, we're going to set our part right there. Lift it up a little bit. Adjust your inserts so that the clamping surface is facing the part. So that guy looks good, those look good, that looks good. So right now, I'm going to use this guy instead of my T-handle. These parts are getting a little bit high. I'm just going to snug up the T-nuts to hold it in position. Okay, they actually look good. All right. Then I can actually lock my inserts in place. That one's already locked. That insert's locked. Snug it. Snug it. Now I'm going to loosen up my T-nuts. Just a quarter turn. Okay. I'm going to back out my clamping, my 82-degree clamping screws, one full turn. It's one. And I go 1 1/8. I want a little more bite on this part. 1 1/8. Now I'm holding my part down. I'm pushing the bottom movable jaw plate in towards the part. And now I tighten up my T-nuts so my base plate, my bottom plate, is locked in position. And I want to get a little more, not much more torque than I have on it, but a little more. Okay, there we go. There we go. That guy's locked. Okay, now if I bring both of these guys in, at a time. There. So they're both snug right now. And I'm going a little more than a quarter turn. And that guy's locked in there, okay? He's not going anywhere. Indicate my spud in or indicate the hole in the center. Move off, drill and tap holes, cut slots, do whatever I want to do to this guy. And when I'm done, back my screws out. That's half a turn. And a full. And my part comes out of there. And again, I'm only holding on to 70 thousandths of material here, and that guy's not going anywhere. So that's round stock, okay? The other thing that, the other beauty of this is I can also hold on to odd shaped parts. We did round parts, now I'm gonna do an odd shaped part. So for this, I'm gonna remove these guys and we'll reposition them. All right. Okay, so before we get started, we'll screw the clamping screws down till they're just making contact and snug so that they square up my movable top jaw with my movable base piece. The next part we're going to hold is this, which is a sail for a wind chime, and we use this system to engrave the artwork for my wife on this one. So this is definitely a different shape. So I'm probably going to go with 2 right here, and then we're going to move this guy back and I'll do two further spaced out on the other side. So for right now, we'll loosen up the T-nuts. So this guy is now movable. We'll put one in there, one in here. Let's see what that spacing looks like on here. So that looks pretty good for my top corner. All right. So I'm just gonna screw these down and then back them off a quarter turn, eighth of a turn, just enough so that my round inserts can adjust to the shape of the part. So right there, back it out. Right there, back it out. So I can turn both of these so they'll adjust to the part. Then for this side over here, I think we're going to use the ones that are furthest out. So we'll go with this one and this one. Okay, right there, snug, and back it out. Snug and back it out. So these guys both turn. So now I'm going to locate my part on the top two and eyeball it square-ish. I'm going to bring these guys up, and obviously I'm not quite square. So I'm going to adjust it around so they're both hitting the same area on the bigger radius right there. So right there looks good, and I still have access to my T-nut slots. So for right now, I'm just going to snug my T-nuts. All right. Now I'm going to back out my clamping screws, one full revolution. And I'm going to loosen my T-nuts. And I'm going to push the base plate, the movable bottom plate, in towards the part. So that's moved in. Now I'm going to tighten my T-nuts up. That's good and tight. That's good and tight. Then I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure on my clamping screws, and that's enough to hold my orientation on my 3 inserts. And then I'm going to lock my 4 inserts. I'm going to lock my 4 inserts down so that orientation stays the same. There's good, and it's not a whole lot of torque on these. They're not going anywhere. If I come out a turn and a half, I can pull my jaws back and pull my part out. Pull my part back in. Locating there. Good. Okay, because this is a finished part, and I don't want to dent it with the inserts too much, and I'm also taking a very light cut. This is just engraving. I'm going to bring both of the screws down so they make contact. compact. Then I'm just going to tighten a little bit. Alright, so that guy is locked in place. Now I find the center for my engraving, put my engraving bit in there, and I'm off and going. Have fun making chips.